uncertainty. In this regard, the SEFA, IDC and NYDA have come together and allocated 2.7 billion rand for youth-owned enterprises. This is the single biggest investment by the South African government into youth-owned enterprises in this country, and it's specifically ring-fenced from that. As you may be aware that when it comes to the youth of this country accessing finance from your commercial lending institutions, they find it very difficult. Reasons being issues of collateral, interest rates, etc. One will find that the criteria have been relaxed slightly, so they get preferential interest rates, as well as their hands are held so that the businesses actually succeed. In terms of what NYDA brings to the party, the NYDA itself has numerous interventions which will assist the youth prior to the funding being approved by SEFA and IDC. In this regard, we have what we call entrepreneurship development training, where we take the youth to a structured entrepreneurship training course so that they are aware from a strategic and operational point of view how to run their businesses. In addition to that, we have a mentorship program and we assign mentors to the youth. This will assist them throughout their businesses so that they can get their advice on a daily basis, which will obviously assist them in achieving their goal and business is sustainable.
Let's also talk about the youth fund now. It's launched in Gauteng. Will other youth around the country be able to benefit from this fund as well?
Yes, definitely. In terms of the launches, this was the last launch that we actually had. We've actually had launches throughout the country. So we've had launches in all 9 provinces to date. The launch which took place this week on Wednesday was the last launch, which was in Gauteng. In terms of access of youth throughout the country, which is vital for this to actually succeed, all 3 partners have offices throughout the country. So the youth will be able to walk into those areas and get the necessary assistance that they require.
And how do they apply for this funding? Where do they go to? Is there an application process that needs to be done?
Since there are 3 partners on board, they can approach any of the 3 partners. The NYDA itself has 14 offices in all 9 provinces throughout the country. They can walk into the to the branches and get the necessary assistance that they require, or they can go directly to SEFA and IDC, who will refer them to the NYDA to ensure that they are then ready for that application stage of the loan.
Yeah. Now, the application stage is the first process, but then there's the stage whereby they might get the funding. And I suppose my question to you is, with the structure that you have in place that comes with the funding, is there any way where you train these young entrepreneurs on how to use the funds and not to waste or find themselves in defaults?
Correct. Very important. You cannot just give an entrepreneur funding and then expect them to succeed. The NYDA has numerous programs in place to assist them to make sure they do succeed. We have what we call business development services, where they could get, for example, a business plan, a marketing plan. They can also get assistance in running the HR, the financial systems, the IT systems. So that way it's a holistic approach to make sure that the youth succeeds in the business. As I mentioned earlier, we have a mentorship program. We also have what we call a grants program. The grant program is to give them that initial seed capital prior to them getting the funding from SEFA and IDC, so that they are ready as a business to operate and move to the next level. The grant funding program itself is where the NYDA offers grants up to 100,000 rand. Those who qualify will receive that initial seed capital, that injection that is required to take them to the next level. Once they reach that next level, as I said, we'll hold their hand throughout the process. We will then refer them to SEFA and IDC, where they will get the final loan that they require. And we will still continue our interactions with them, obviously with the assistance of our partners.
Sanjay, we've seen a lot of organizations coming out to assist young businesses as far as funding is concerned. And I know that the NYDA is one of the prime organizations that aim to achieve, that youth entrepreneurship support within South Africa. What sets this youth fund apart from any that we've seen or heard of before?
Well, I think you need to look at the holistic approach that the NYDA uses. The NYDA is not just about creating entrepreneurs. As I stated, we hold the hand of the entrepreneur. We look at the life skills component. We look at the leadership component. We look at social cohesion. So it's how do you ensure that the young person themselves develop, not just how the business develops. How do you make sure that you mainstream them into the economy of the country? How do you ensure that they become better citizens? How do you ensure that their businesses succeed? and add to the economy of the organization. So we use a holistic approach on the youth themselves.
And before we let you go, very briefly, is there a website, a number that we can call for those who are interested in participating in this application process?
Yeah, sure. It's www.nyda.gov.za and 0800 52 52 52. That's our toll-free call center number, which is based in Midrand. Thank
you so much, Sanjay Hogavan, for talking to me today.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that's, of course, all that we have for you with regards to the Youth Fund. As you've heard before, the NYDA, the SEFA and IDC have collaborated to, of course, support young businesses within South Africa. So if you are interested, make sure that you acquaint yourself with all these organizations and you can get funding, possibly.